we'll see what happens if I get this whole thing. So we're gonna hope, we're gonna pray, but welcome to another Saturday book club. We are here today talking about the 5 levels of leadership, the 4th level, which is people development. And just to read that quote one more time for the recording, leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. That is why the first pillar of TGF is empowerment. Because if you can't build great people, you can't build a great business, period. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass it to this man, Marcus, to kick this thing off. I think it's only right. Truly, he's one of the most servant leaders I've ever putting people on. So go ahead, brother. Get it cracking.
Appreciate you, man. Y'all can hear me okay? You good? Yeah. I just want to make sure. I feel like Matthew asking a question sometimes. Well, what's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. This is lit. I have not had a Saturday off in a long time. We've been over a month and a half now. So wild, on my way to a family reunion. And I was really looking forward to this discussion because honestly, y'all, this level built a lot of my paradigm and my growth in my early entrepreneurial career. We, as you guys know, or are catching recording, you might not have ever heard, but we were guided and mentored by a gentleman named Marcus Setta, and he taught me this lesson that honestly summarized the entirety of what level 4 is about. At the end of the day, your focus should not be building the business. Your focus should be building people, because it's the people that build the business. And in that process, reading this chapter allowed me to understand that different layer of value, because it allowed me to have a paradigm from whenever I was simply learning about it and getting the ins and outs of what entrepreneurship looks like, to actually utilizing it and playing it out in my life. And one of the biggest parts that I want to touch on was helping individuals. Kobe, chill out, bro. I'm bringing my dog, yo. He's gonna have a great time today. But so identifying and developing people compounds the positives of the organization. If you bring the best out in a person, it's often a catalyst to bringing out the best in the team. And at the end of the day, that requires you to make it not about you. So in order to help people, you've got to be able to recognize what individuals have the capacity to grow. And one of the big things that I've learned through experience is understanding what was talked about in the upside of the people development. And that's that the mark of someone with potential to grow is openness to the process. And the quote that he pulled that from is from a man named Blanchard, who specifically said, when you talk to people who just don't want any more instruction, then they have pretty much hit the wall. They are done. And reading it this time around, honestly, was a great reminder, because as I step into the level of leadership that I'm in, not only does my time need to go where it is needed, but it also needs to go where it is deserved. And being able to recognize the openness to the process, the willingness to continuously learn, to do this stuff, to actually hop on the book club when you don't want to hop on the book club, to literally send out the messages when you don't want to send out the message, to actually do the things you said you were going to do at the beginning of the process, requires you to make sure that you yourself have to remain open to the process to help others who are open to the process. Otherwise, you can't guide them anywhere. So it was a great reminder for me personally on you lead not by telling. And the best way you can help somebody is to find the people that are open to it. And just love on them and allow life to teach them the lesson, allow them to grow at their own pace. But you can literally inspire those by actually doing it. So John Quincy Adams says in People Development, Empowering Others to Fulfill Their Leadership Responsibilities, he says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. So what are your actions? That was, I don't know, can y'all hear me okay? Dang, I feel like I'm
Most
frozen.
definitely, we can hear you,
Am I
bro.
back?
We can hear you, brother. We can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay.
Never left.
Okay, bet. Because y'all were all frozen. Yeah. And by y'all, I mean Donnie and Mikhail, the people I could see. So I had no idea if I was talking to myself. But anyway, it's a great reminder, Marcus. I was really like, it's all good. Don't talk to me. Okay, and then there was one more thing I really wanted to touch on real quick. In terms of the downside, let me pull it up. Okay, insecurity can make leaders feel threatened by personal development. Ooh, this is a good one, yo. I was like, bro, my man John C. Max, bro. He said, no amount of personal competency can compensate for personal insecurity. How do you counter insecurity, right? You let go of ego. He talks about recognizing that success only comes from combined contributions of everyone on the team. Killing myself, meaning like not obviously killing myself, but sorry, I should rephrase that. But letting go of self and realizing that I'm squad made and God made. It ain't me. It's not just what I got going on. And then above that, they talked about like if you help others get what they want, you can get what you want. So in order to overcome the insecurity, letting go of the ego, letting go of control of situations and others of the organization, and letting people participate so that they can grow, and it's not you just growing. You have to be able to you must give others your trust and earn their trust in return. So it's been really evident in my life. There's two things I want to go off this point, and then I'll pass the baton. But one thing that I've been doing in my life is letting go a lot of control when it comes from the things that are supposed to be in God's hands to responsibilities of the team, especially as the amount of work that we've got going on increases. Like being able to depend on people to actually be a part of the picture, those that are actually showing up and have literally said, like, hey, I want to help, bro. I appreciate stuff like that. And it has helped me remain uncomfortable by trusting that, hey, I'm going to find out my ability to lead people by giving people obligations and seeing what they do when the leader isn't there. It's one of the biggest things Mikhail helped whole squad really understand when he first came out in Austin. It's a cool little full moment, bro, because you're about to head back into town. But like, it doesn't matter what you do when the leader's around. Like, what do you do when they're not there? And you, as a leader, can assess your leadership by what's done when you're not around. And it's been cool to see squad personally develop and grow because as I've let go of certain things that I used to always do, whether it be always be the one throwing the launch parties, or always being the one planning the team socials, or always being the one that does certain responsibilities. I've been able to delegate, and like it's been really cool because I know I can trust my squad and they can trust me. So I love y'all. If you're catching a recording, I appreciate you guys for helping me grow through that process. But another part of like getting over the insecurity is y'all gotta stack some wins. This is why he talks about like in order to maintain or excel in every level, you've got to keep the previous levels. So not only do you have to hold the title, you've got to gain the permission of people to lead, but you've also got to produce the results in order to personally develop others. Like if you're not yourself producing results while you're attempting to develop others to produce results, you will go nowhere. You will hit a wall. Absolutely, and all day and tomorrow. So if you yourself wake up, do what you say you're going to do with your DMO, wake up, reach out to your people and tell them you love them, go and actually do the invites and hit your workout. And by the end of the day, you're just stacking wins. Not only are you going to be building your confidence, but you're also going to be overcoming your insecurity. And I feel like insecurity is something we all struggle with. I know Mikhail and I, we've talked about what's the imposter syndrome for a long time. And it took us stacking the wins and reminding ourselves and each other, like, bro, quit playing with us. Someone's got to tell somebody to stop sleeping, because we're out here actually helping individuals grow. And in that process, it requires you to continuously get better. So I obviously I'm very biased to this book. I really, 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 really hope that those that are actually plugging in and diving in fully have taken the time to grow and develop in that space, and actually allow your potential to be tapped in so that you can help others do the same. So I love y'all. I appreciate it. I'll pass this thing over to, just because I see Matt. You got it, bro. Unless he can't hear me.
No, I can. I'm just doing real things. Yeah, I mean, because Zach ended up having to go home to Shane and stuff. But what up, y'all? Happy Saturday. I'm gonna put my notes. Honestly, I think this one is probably one of the biggest ones because it's like the development of like our people, and it honestly, it really comes like when I really think of this is people won't. What does the saying go? People won't truly care, or people won't care until they see how much like you care. And I give Marcus a big shout out because I really didn't know exactly like what that truly meant until I actually saw him do it. Because you got to be able to make sure, like, sorry, I had a burp. I guess you have to be able to invest, not only invest in yourself, but invest in others as well to be able to show the type of amount of, like I said, how much you care. Be able to, like Marcus said, be able to like delegate whenever you're in a leadership position. Because obviously, with stuff like this, there's no way. I mean, there is a way, but it's truly harder to do it by yourself than with other people. And when you're able to delegate different things, you're able to take a little bit of load off of yourself for people that you trust. Because, if it wasn't for TGF, if it wasn't for, Marcus actually implementing that stuff and Mikhail implementing that stuff, and the like big thing is, Marcus was able to delegate the team socials with Ashley and Joanna, and then delegate to me to make sure that we have all the Thursday nights study sessions made right. Then we have Donnie, and then Donnie lost his role, I guess. I just play, bro. But it's being able to delegate different things to other people so you can actually go into the areas that you need to be working on. Let me see what else I wrote. I had put leaders must prioritize investing in their team's growth and to take steps daily to achieve this. Like creating different meetings, like creating different calls, creating different environments to actually show people that you're not just in here to make a dollar. You're here to make people grow. You're here for personal growth. You're here for team growth, and you're here for, I guess, the right reasons. Because a lot of people, I can even say me myself, when I had first started diving in this thing, it was for like, I guess, selfish reasons, not selfless. And I think a main reason why I didn't hold, I guess, some ranks inside of like I am was because I truly didn't. And this is just me being like open, honest, and transparent. I didn't really I had me first. You know, when you have you first, people can really tell if you really truly care about the well-being or the growth of them, or because when you're in a leadership position, it's a lot for somebody to actually follow you. You know what I mean? And when somebody actually follows you, they actually trust in you and that you're showing them the right ways and that you're giving the right information and that you're giving them a community that everybody truly wants to see everybody win. And, you know, once you grow your mind, your wallets will grow as well. You know what I mean? And that's why we always focus on personal development and personal growth, because when you do that, everything else will start falling into place. Those habits will start turning into what is the word? Those habits will start turning into what is the word? I need somebody to help me. I went blank.
Reality. Are you like your
What?
actions turn into habits? Or I don't know.
Like your habits turn into things you do, like disciplines. You know what I mean? It's just like the gym, for example. If you're gonna work on your personal growth, you have to go at least 2 to 3 weeks of steady going, and you turn it into like an actual daily thing, like a necessity that you got to do. And for me, you know, like these calls, everything that we do with personal development, with the mental health calls, with the men's empowerment calls, with the women's empowerment calls, with the study sessions, all that stuff grows into your actual personal well-being. And you really get to see like, okay, all these people truly want to see me win. All these people truly want to see me be the best version of myself. And once you realize that, you start focusing in on, and it's just all starts growing organically, because you know, who wouldn't want to actually be inside of a team or inside of an organization that everybody is working towards personal growth, working towards different goals and different things like that. So honestly, that's pretty much all I got. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I got to get back on this grill. So I will I'll let, you know what? I'm going to pass it. So I'm going to pass it to Austin. Austin, if you're available, Brody, I appreciate you.
Here, what's going on, my people?
Look good, Austin. You look good, boy.
Appreciate you. So, not gonna lie, your boy has been slacking in the reading department. I definitely am not a a reader, but I will definitely get in tune with that, the moving and grooving. But yeah, I definitely agree that we got the best thing out there. You know what I'm saying? I really love that our community of people really push each other to be better, you know, all the time, no matter what's going on, and that everybody is real with each other. You know what I mean? You know, for a lot of my life personally, I've had a lot of friends that just tell me what I want to hear. You know what I mean? Just to either make me happy or not try to cause confrontation or whatever. But I'm just blessed that I now have a community like y'all, or with y'all, that really push me to just, you know, hold myself accountable, and y'all, you know, keep it real with me no matter what, and just tell me what I need to hear versus, you know, what I want to hear so that I can grow as a person. Because that's really what it's all about, is becoming the best version of yourself that you can be, and helping other people do that along the way too. So definitely will have to catch up on the book aspect of things, but I appreciate y'all. Definitely love y'all, and can't wait to see y'all in person again. You know what I'm saying? I like the Zoom. I like seeing y'all like this, but I'm trying to see you in person. But yeah, Donnie, have you gone yet? No? All right, my boy.
What's up, y'all? But
It's lit. Really, reading this, going back to even the introduction and the previous levels, knowing that it starts within, and doing the deep work and filling your cup, working on yourself, so that way you can go and help others. And then even in the beginning, it's what stood out to me was how with every person you're developing you're going through your levels of leadership with every person and with each other. And I think it was the first one, honestly, that talked about that. And I had talked with Josh. I was like, bro, you get to hold each other at a level 5 leadership with each other. Like, bro, we can go do some crazy shit. And honestly, just seeing Mikhail and Marcus, the way they operate together, and seeing the level of leadership they hold each other to daily is perfect example of like what we're reading. And as we sheesh, I had to turn my car off. I'm about 4 miles. But yeah, as we're developing other leaders, we have to do that deep work within ourselves, and then understand who we are, and then understand who they are, so that way we can best put them in the best position for them, and what will help them grow. And then also sitting there and taking things off our back, as we develop leaders to help, like what everybody's talking about, not talked about delegation, and having delegating different roles to other leaders, put them in those positions to help them grow as well. And then what Marcus had touched on is how business doesn't develop the leaders make the business and develop the business. And really just focusing in on that aspect and helping people grow, because you can't have anything or organization or community without leaders. And if you're a boss in a position, most people don't like their boss, and um, don't have a sense of respect for them. And then another thing that, as we've been reading the book and just realizing, like, everybody has value to give. Um, doesn't matter their age, their race, um, their sexual, or their male or female, and then their rank. Like, I'm I'm nobody, or so and so, and doesn't is not ranked or whatever, but they have value to give. Like, they they know what they're talking about, because we all have wisdom from the experiences that we've had, and just using that to also help develop the people around us and leaders, to kind of coach them up on, like, yo, let me help you out with this, because I've been through this. I had this experience. And just helping each other out, helping each other grow. Definitely one-on-ones. And for sure, I definitely gonna be going back through, and I've been kind of replaying audios a lot more lately, just because some conversations me and Marcus have been having, and seeing how he's been having the levels of leadership and holding himself to those with me, and the conversations we have,
and just pushing me to grow upon those levels with other people. And so that way I can go make an impact. And so, yeah, I'm excited, y'all. Much love. And I'm going to pass this thing to Michelle Rodriguez. Shout out to that girl. She is going through, if she's free, turn your camera on, girl. She is going through a series of interviews within a team for real estate investing, and girl is killing it. She's going to phase 3 of the interview. So shout out to you, Michelle. You free. Turn on your camera. I guess not. Amber Teles.
What up, y'all? So, I'll just be real quick. What this chapter like inspired me to think about was really just the idea of seeing people for the leader that is within them and treating them in a way of like expectation. Like don't, sometimes we could be human, and like if we understand like what people's capabilities are, we have to give them the responsibility of where we want them to rise up to, and expect them to not expect, but what's the word, like encourage them that they could do it, so for example, like within the team, I'll just use some of the examples like within the team. Like, so I know, like, for example, like Donnie is in charge of running the socials, right? So when it comes to that, it's like, not, this is just like a simple example, but not giving the attitude of like, oh, well, we'll see if he can do it. Like, no, it's like, no, like, you could do it. I believe in you, so like seeing somebody for really like the leader that they are, and not where they're at right now. And wherever that person is, like if they have a desire to grow, they're going to rise up to that expectation. So, and I know this is going to get like really deep, but really that's what Jesus did. Like he saw the alignment in every single person all the time. Like he never had any doubt of the true version of them. And so that's why whenever he saw someone who was sick, he didn't see them for the sickness. He saw the light that was within them, and that light that he saw in them made their vibration rise up to that space of healing. And so that's what I feel like this chapter inspired me to think about, because as a leader, you have to see people for where they're going, especially if they're on, if they're consistent and they're showing up. So yeah, so that's all I have to say about this chapter. I think everyone's went except for Mikkel. Have you went?
Yep. Unless Michelle comes back, then she can close us out. But what up, y'all? I like the take on it, Amber. Everybody, Don, Matt, Marcus, Austin. Even though you ain't ready yet, bro, still good take, vibes. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see you soon, big dog. We got the Rivera brothers in the camera. They out there on the grill. It's crazy. You reminded me of when I was out there last summer. But yeah, man, it's wild. So this chapter is huge because it's honestly the foundation of like how we built TGF. Like we were both on that. Like, yo, we need to prioritize the growth of our people over prioritizing the productivity. And even when things are slow, if our people are developing, that's a win, period. And we can find the right people to bring some momentum in, but that's a win. And so that's really the foundation of what we built TGF on. It makes us different. Everybody talks about how it's different here. And it's because we actually take the time to not only like really empower you and give you and equip you with all the tools in the process, but we also take it a step deeper, and we're like approachable. Like we can call you out on your bull on a call and then talk about it on the call or right after on a separate call, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like we can really let people know exactly what's going on, set the expectation, set the standard really, but just meet people exactly where they're at. So it's dope. The community, the culture that we've built here, the leadership culture that accepts leaders and develops them and promotes them. It's something that it really takes a high level of strategy to go and create as a culture. It takes a whole nother type of person to do it. Then it takes a whole nother type of thinking to create it. And so, dude, I'm thankful for God putting his hand in what we got going on. When it talks about the downsides, it's funny because Marcus talked about the insecurity that makes leaders feel threatened by developing people as it conflicts with their ego, sees control, and creates mistrust. It's crazy. I went through, so here's the thing, like all of these things happen, and I gave this lesson to somebody yesterday. I was like, yo, we were talking about just marriage and how we like y'all know how I have that note and I've been collecting it for 7 years, and it's basically on tips that I've met from all married couples, people that I've seen with the ring, people that I hear talk about divorce. If you've been married, I want to know your deepest, darkest, best, biggest lesson, period. And when I was talking to my boy, he was talking about how in life, like he always finds people that have a happy marriage to him, and then he asked them what they did, and he like keeps a note. And we were talking about how it's similar, and I was like, that's really cool. Like, but I'm gonna challenge you to also ask about the bad stories and not just the good ones. When you see a marriage that isn't going the greatest, or you see somebody where it's like they got a marriage I low key would not want, I challenge you to go and ask them about it and ask them what went wrong, or really just ask them their story and their biggest lesson, and be able to pick and take from your story what you need versus what you learned. So with that, like my point in doing that is because Jim Rohn talks about going and finding a homeless person, taking them out to dinner and asking them about their life and figuring out exactly where it went wrong. So you can figure out exactly what not to do. Because as human beings, we have been trained to spot negatives and remember negatives before we remember positives. So if you can figure out exactly what not to do, it'll really create a subconscious discipline within your mind that really keeps you subconsciously focused on what to do, because you know and remember exactly what not to do because of what happened. So like for me, in my personal development journey upon leadership, even like just with me, Marcus, and Matt, for instance, as we started really getting things cracking, me and other people in the company, like uplines and stuff, started to low key, I felt this like distance growing. And then I'd shoot a message and not get a reply. And the Rivera brothers would shoot the same message and get a reply. And I started to feel some type of way. I literally had that immaturity, that insecurity as a leader. Like, hold on, are they replacing me? Am I not doing anything? Like, I started thinking all these crazy thoughts, and it subconsciously, for a little bit of a second, started to even bleed into all of our relationships. And then I really had to have a night and just check myself and be like, Mikhail, this is your squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand what leverage means. And sometimes you have to understand in leadership that you need to get out of the way. And it's one of the hardest things to do, truly. And as I got out of the way, it created a space and created relationships where we all can hold each other accountable as leaders and develop a teammanship versus like leadership. You know what I'm saying? It's not anybody putting anybody on a pedestal. It's us all understanding that we're on God's great earth and we're developing together as brothers. It just hits different. So with that, like, it was a hard thing that I had to really go through, and it was complicated. So if you've ever gone through that with somebody who you've developed or somebody who's developing you, understand that every leader has gone through it. And if you just grow through it instead of just go through it, it'll help you progress, and it'll shorten what we talked about back when what was it? I feel like it was No Excuses, but it could have been Crazy Faith too. I just don't remember which one. But he talked about your forgiveness span. Like some people's forgiveness span is like 3 years. Sometimes it's like 3 months. Some it's like 3 days. You know, it's different numbers for people when something happens in their life, how long it takes them to really forgive said person or said situation. And so like it really helps you focus in on that when you just really understand things about this book and actually understand that you're going through these things as a leader, and so are the people that you're developing, and so is the organization that you're developing, the business that you're developing. And so when you can understand and be aware of each level, especially this one, you'll understand that in order to get to level 4, you have to do level 1. You have to be in a position. You have to do level 2. You have to go and get permission. You have to do level 3. As Marcus said, you got to go and get the results. But really, when it comes to people development, 2 and 4 go hand in hand. You can't develop your people if you don't have permission to. It just won't work. So it takes an intentionality of getting in there and building a relationship. So with that being said, I have loved this chapter. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's wild. Like number 10, when it comes to the guide on growing, remain approachable as a leader, role model, and coach. That's one thing that we've done very well here on this organization. I think we've created spaces for that. We've literally created an entire space and process for the development, for the empowerment. So I'm excited to get to level 5. Michelle, if you're free, you can close us out, or I can wrap us up. Yeah.
What's up?
What's up, girl? I haven't seen your face in a long time, and y'all forgot to call me, and I'm just sad. But
What's poppin'? We didn't forget. We haven't stopped. We have not stopped. And I was laying there next to Dylan because I haven't been able to lay down next to him for a couple weeks now. And I said, I could just lay here and watch these videos, or I could just hop on book club real quick. So I'm here. But what's poppin', you guys? I actually am really glad that we're talking about this. Dylan and I purchased the book and have been reading it on our own just because of where life has been with us. And I think a big thing with people development, if I could be honest with you, is like, I need to know that if you're my leader, like the trust is there, right? Like I need to know that I can trust you with everything, even when things aren't good. And what I noticed in these last couple of weeks and even like month is that like I didn't have trust in people that I thought I trusted because I didn't come to them, or I didn't like confide in them and what I was really feeling. And I think that just stemmed from what I've been through in life, just like, but having to like really, really like be vulnerable to tell you guys like, yo, this is where I'm at. I don't fully trust. That's like a big thing to have to like, and I love all y'all. That's why I'm like telling you guys this. You guys are my family, right? And if we throw around the family word, it's like, y'all got to hear the good and the bad, and be ready for both. And so if I could keep it a buck, I didn't feel like I could trust to say, it's just not a good little season right now. And so let me stop and assess why I don't trust. Let me get to the core reason why I don't trust. So then I can go and elevate and really be not only utilize the tools that I've learned to trust, but like actually be action oriented about it. So that's what I did. And I went home to see my mama and hug her and sat down with my mom at a coffee shop and was like, yo, to keep it a buck, Mom, like this is where I'm at, And we were in the middle of shifting teams because I fired myself from a team because I was like, nope, don't stand for this. I don't abide by these core values. I'm out. And so me and Dylan both, and that was a big like shift for us because, we were seeing results. We felt really good, but we were like, nah, man, this isn't what we like stand for. So we're like, let's take a little break. We've been going hard since January, So we did that. And going back to the coffee shop with my mother, I sat there with her and was like, I'm reading all these books. You're reading all these audios, you're attending all these seminars, you're on every Zoom, whatever the case may be. But faith is a big thing, right? You have, without that, you ain't shit. And so that's where I was at, man. I had to really just like sit there and do like a lit and like write out a list. And my mom, you know, bless her heart, I just love her because she made me, and you know, she knows me, and she says,